Razor here, welcome everybody. Today I want to talk about the new flea market for Escape from Tarkov and a bit about how it works and strategies on how to price things and make sales and profit. So when I started out, in probably the first day, I found a ski mask, ski hat with holes for eyes. I tried to sell it for 2 mil like this person. It didn't sell, and so after about 5 hours I think I cancelled it. I listed a few other things like rarer type mags for certain guns or stocks and other things like that, for obviously over the standard pricing is what I went for, so just ridiculous prices I put up. Nothing sold. I cancelled about 4 to 7 trades, and in the end I ended up at a negative 0.47 trading rep and was down to 2 trade offers at a time. And so I was in this bracket here. At neutral, for some reason you have 3 trade slots, and to get to 4 trade slots you have to go positive 10.0. And if I'm at 6.1, this has taken me, I think, I'm in the 3rd week now. So 0.47 plus, let's get a calculator here, 0.61 equals, I should be at 1.8 if I didn't go into negative. So I'd be 1/10 of the way to having 4 trade slots. But not understanding the flea market and the absolute punishing system that it has didn't help out. And so yeah, I find they only really factor in one thing, and that's reputation gained upon successfully completing a trade. Every 100,000 rupees gained from deals, incrementing the player's reputation. So I'm not sure if that's like 0.1 or 0.0.1 or 0.10 or anything like that. I'm gonna have a pretty solid guess and say it's 0.01, so because it doesn't go up by much. And so how I started trading to get myself out of the negative 0.47 kind of debt was just sell things and just go absolutely bananas on it. So I'd be in my inventory, say I got a 153 and it had a standard stock, say, without the optic and all that on it, even if it was like a 6-chamber. Sometimes I'd take the sprut off and the torch and sell the torch to skier, and the sprut and stuff to prep, and then later on I would be selling majority of my stuff. Anything that I can't sell to skier, I sell to mechanic now to try to level him up, because 1.1 mil is a really bit of a tough thing to start off with and get up to. I don't sell mags, I don't sell ammo, I don't sell grenades or handles. I was selling the 8-shell tubes for the 153. I was selling WTR rigs. I was buying off Ragman, and to start off you'd buy your scav vest, you'd trade your ski masks, or the half mask, sorry, for your black rocks. Use the black rock and use the scav vest in raid if you find a better vest, say a Utah or a Karas or something. You straight up just ditch your packer into a bush. You ditch your scav vest into a bush, and you pick up an AVS or a black rock or a WT rig off a scav or another player. You put that on and you claim your other stuff back in insurance, because it's worth using your insurance. If I had I had a balaclava, I'd chuck my balaclava into the bush if I couldn't fit it in a slot or I didn't want to, and I'd pick up, say, the Coldfeet infrared balaclava or the Momex black balaclava or a half mask, and I'd get my stuff back in insurance. Insuring's always worth it. If you're seeing and you're just starting out on Tarkov and you see that oh, that's 7k or 4k, well that's money I want to save, it's like, don't worry about it. The cost of the insurance and the things you can get back with it is really worth it, and you level up trader rep as well, especially with Prap if you pick him to like invest as well. And so you're cycling your gear and dropping it into raid into bushes, and you're upping the quality of stuff that you're coming out with. And so be in here, we've got a Karasa, and at the moment, I think in the last week the price drops have been pretty insane. Like Packers are now really low. So the other thing you should set, just as a real side note, I'm just going to jump in here with this one. So you go in here and you turn off functional items only, and say, you know, you could leave it on sometimes, but remove the bartering items and all that. I didn't really have that. I untick this one because sometimes it's good to see the trader in there and what they're selling something for. You use that as a good compare to, like, if you want to undercut them or have quick sales, then you want to uncheck this. So as you start out, when you jump into flea market, as you open your game fresh, you want to close that and set it to rubles. The reason for setting it to rubles is because if we go here and we just go to barter items, there will be this happening. So GM counter looks great, 500 bucks, and you're like, whoa, yeah, bang, purchase. Go back here and we go to not mechanic, go to peacekeeper. In here, how much is 500 US dollars? Well, that's 48,200 rubles. And this is why you want to be turning off all currency, because people will try and scam the shit out of you. So by having this off, we can look at, even if we're going to go for the cheapest, we're also going to get trade offers. Sometimes they're good to look at. Like, hey, you might want cigarettes. What cigarettes does he want? Wilson's. They're the absolute hardest to get. I've only found one so far after 3 weeks. Applons aren't worth squat. They're not used yet. But you keep looking, and some things will have, like, the average price of something might be 10k or 7k in rubles. But people will list theirs for like 10k or 7k in US. And so I fall for that for a module armor. And we are down here. Someone wanted to trade a module armor for, I think, a Vaseline. And the Vaseline cures everything except for a black, fully blacked 0 health limb. And it doesn't fix a shot out stomach. But it'll fix fractures, pain, and bleeding, I think. And so I was on this page. I didn't have like my rubles only search box kind of ticked. And I was looking down here and I found like a 2 out of 40 body armor, and I was like, ha, I'll spend 7,400 rubles on this body armor, trade it for the Vaseline, which is trading for like 40k or something at the time at the start in the first few weeks. And I thought I got off with a really awesome trade. But I didn't check the currency sign next to it, and I was spending 7,400k in US to buy this screwed up, damaged 3M body armor. And so in the end, it ended up costing me, for one Vaseline, it ended up costing me 7,400. And yep, so it ended up costing me $167,920. And I think because I have a better level with him now, at the time, it set me up something like 200 to probably 800k rubles to pay that in US currency. And that was extremely frustrating. Actually, did I put the thing in? That's on 7400. Wow, this doesn't seem right. 740. They need to make this little box bigger as well, because that'd be a help. So it still cost me 71 grand, if that's the conversion rate. And so that's a big loss. So when you go to your flea market, you want to turn on rubles, unless you want to pay it in whatever else otherwise, because Everything runs in rubles basically. 3Ms used to be going for unprime listed and easy like 20k. Now they're down to 10. Packers, they've dropped as well. So as of the last 2 weeks, I'd say it's not worth as much investing and trading in body armors, because damaged ones were going for like 20k, brand new ones were going for like 23 to 27k in the first few weeks. So I was like trading in half masks, getting a packer, and if I had like lots of body armor in my stash, I'd be trading it straight off for just 20k brand new packer. Reason for putting it up for 20k is because people who had brand new ones up for 23 and 27, I could sell mine in like less than 30 seconds after its listing of the 1 minute kind of warm up, cool down, whatever you call it. Other things I was selling was a lot of these, so the Troy black stocks, and then the FDE ones as well for the different colors. So these were selling for about, people were listing them for about 17 to 40k rubles at the start of Flea Market, and I was just listing mine straight up for 10. Now I'd probably list them for like 6. And my rule of thumb is you undercut someone by, if they're like got a 10k trade, you undercut them by a k, and then you undercut yourself by another k to make a quick deal. And if there's multiple color types of a single item, check all of them and put the best price down based on that. So if they got 7k and this one's gone for 8, put yours down for 5 or 6. Not only will it sell fast, you will also only have between 2 and, if you're really lucky, 4 trade slots with an average of 3 at the start. You want to be turning stuff over really quickly or listing it overnight, and then when you log on the next day, it will have sold. If you wait overnight though, you can put a more competitive listing. So you could go 153 shotgun, and if you put a few attachments on it, maybe put the pistol grip like this person has, hell, a PK06 whatever quick sight, chuck that on too, because people are generally pretty savvy now. Instead of buying the first cheapest prime listing in the yellow highlighted like the premium listing they call it, they'll be looking for the unpremium listing and the best prices and what's on the gun. If the gun's broken, they're not going to pay 18 grand. But if I had it, even if I was using a 153 with absolutely nothing on it and not a pistol grip, so it's a lot, basically this, but without the sprut and the torch and the laser on, you can sell that for 18 grand. Sure, you're pricing it at theirs, but if you went into a raid, killed a scav or looted a dead scav, or did a scav run, you're not working for that shotgun. You didn't have to buy it out of the market. You didn't have to go to the trader and buy it off them. You basically got it for free. But everyone likes to make the most amount of money, because per that 100k you go up 0.01 rep. Sure, that might be alluring, but if you're trying to get greedy with your pricing, it's not competitive and no one's going to buy it. It's better to sell a fair bit lower and sell fast, and keep those trade slots. There's 3 trade slots, always empty or always selling and using them. And then come nighttime when you're logging off, put up something a little bit more competitive. Say we have what's something really nice and snazzy that is a desirable item. Say whether it's a docs case, or in this case, say you found an ammo box in one of the raids. That's not it. That is not it. Ammo and space. Ammo case. Here we are. So these are cheaper to find and sell than it is to buy off the trader and sell. And if we cancel that, we should get mechanic. So mechanic is like a 2,400. Oh, sorry, 224,000 is what he's listing for, and everyone's listing for cheaper. So you can't really make profit off these things. Something a little bit more competitive. I'll just check my actual items maybe. So WTR rigs, should still be selling decently, and I'll just check them now. Rig, bottom one. So they're still selling nicely, and they're quite easy to get. Whether you do a scav run and your scav's wearing one, or you kill a scav and they have one. Best thing about these is they offer more slots inside internally than they take up. So they take up 9 slots and they offer 8 and they offer 10. So 10 slots on the inside is 1 extra slot to increase inventory. That's why I enjoy using them so much. And the alpha rigs, as soon as I could, I started doing the trade with Prap to also save on space. I'm using a non-Edge of Darkness account, so that's why I'm pretty hooked up on space saving. With my first week and a half of trading, I was also able to buy the Lucky Scav junk box, and that pretty much cleared half my inventory up for everything else. Then the med case I got, and I got real lucky on finding gunpowder in the first 3 weeks, or the first 2 weeks I think. I got myself an ammo case as well. I then did buy, after the ammo case, I think maybe before the ammo case, so I went scav box, med case, docs, and then the second docs I did it myself with statues that I found inside Idea. The docs cases are absolutely awesome because wallets are now super hard to find. They don't drop anymore like they used to. Used to be like ripe fruit just hitting the ground was wallets. I used to have to give them away to my mates who were starting out and were newer. And I just said, hey man, take this wallet. Because I had about 7 or 8 of them. Now it's really hard to actually find wallets, and I haven't found a single one in Raid. So, back to trading. The WTR rigs, that's an easy 20k. At the very start, what I was doing, in the first week or two to level, say, Ragman, you'd buy up scav vests, and you'd buy, say, 14 of them, and you'd clear your whole inventory onto your character, clear it out, buy a whole ton of scav vests, and then sell them, say, for 2.9k each. And then you're leveling your trader, you're not losing as much money as you would if you sold the scav vest back to Ragman, and you're upping your trade level. I also then started doing the same with the MBSS, and I'd sell them for 12. I'd be losing on the actual conversion, but again, still leveling up Ragman. And scav backpacks in the first 2 weeks and 1 week were a very hot item. Everybody wanted them. If you didn't have level 2 Ragman, that was a trouble for some people, but I'd undercut Ragman himself. I don't want to be one of those people who are listing things more expensive than the trader and buying the trader out, so BS ammo. This is absolutely filthy if you look at this. Prap, he'll have his listing, and then this just goes down and down. So is it? Oh, it's not selling fast like it used to. Maybe they capped it. I hope they do. This is the other big problem I have, is like, put a daily or hourly buy limit for each person on a trader, whether it's like backpacks or PK scopes or docs cases and things like that. Like, put a cap on it so they can't just, like, what is it, like macro bot the whole like stock out and then resell it at a higher price, and effectively denying the trader denying the traders from actual trading, and then screwing people over on the market, making them pay a premium to get what they should be able to get normally for free or cheaper off the trader, and then upping their own score. So for like really highly competitive items, so we'd have like Axion, Cobra Mount, you can get at level 1, I think. People are doing this kind of shit, and this is disgusting, is like listing it for higher because it's mechanic level 2 that has them. If you're going to do this kind of stuff, put yours down by $100 and then level the trader and level your flea market level, and don't be a douche, because look at this, man. Here's a 4.2. I saw listings for the Classica, this stock here. People are doing the same, 16k. So you know what I did? Mr. BRCO, whatever his name is, TTV, Twitch douchebag, basically blocking up the market. I'd go down to, say, Autism Crusher at 0.24, and I'd buy his. More expensive, but I'd rather help out a lower level person on the market than some douchebag who's like selling many. This guy's only selling one, he probably found it in a raid. This guy is buying them out from the trader and selling them at a higher price. Stuff like the parts for guns as well, for the gunsmith. People are also doing that, and it's pretty aggravating, but at the same time you need to buy those things if you want to clear up the gunsmith stuff real early. It's smart on the people's part who are doing it, but it also seems kind of wrong that, sure, you got the advantage of getting deeper into the game and higher level and clearing more, but then you're making the hill climb worse for the people behind you in the content of the game, and you're profiting off their lack of having traders unlocked it to certain levels to get what they need, and or you're snatching up things that should be available for everyone and then selling them at a premium. So where we are, we didn't even have any BP ammo left in here, it's just shitty T ammo and the rest. So yeah, he's already sold out a few times at about like 3 AM and stuff like that. I've been on, perhaps refreshed, I've gone to buy, I'll just be like, boom, yeah, I'll have 400 because I might not be able to buy them again, and you go fill item and it just gives you this like denied transaction or sold out thing. Then the number of 15k BP or BS ammo drops down to say 3k, then 2k, then 1k, then a few hundred, and then you're like, give me 10, and you can't even do that. The creators of the game should really put a cap on, say, per the 3-hour cycle, everyone can buy max 200 ammo, say, or what other things were selling out real hard. So like Skier, sometimes you wouldn't have the PKO6 scopes or the sights because people would just buy them out. One really good one was tactical flashlights onto the market, the X400, and once again, stupid people trying to fleece you. Oh, cheap buy, bang. This is gonna get this dude, so 600 in US. What's the conversion? 57,000 for a light on your gun. That should be costing, from Skier, 7k, 7.5k. Instead you're paying an extra like 50k and you're getting ripped off. So turn this straight off, and here we go. Adjust to cheapest, which it already is, so you go for Skier. I'd buy up 5 of these to test the waters and list mine at say 7k or 7.5k or 7.4k. I think I was doing 7.2k each for mine. Tested the waters and they would sell pretty quick, so then I bought out 30 and then I listed them for 7.2k again. And I think I lost overall on the actual currency side of it. I might have lost something like $22,000 to $27,000 in rubles. But I was getting some mad rep with Skier, actually, which I don't because I handed in a docs case to a therapist instead, so that really stuffed me over. But in actual like spent currency, I'm doing pretty well, and just buying out lights off him, selling him for a few $100 cheaper, giving people an easy buy for a flashlight and laser designator, and so leveling my flea market level and leveling my Skier level. Yeah, so popular items, don't buy out 1,000 of them or something, but buy out a few dozen, list them for a few $100 cheaper, and then sell them on through the market. You're both helping out players, helping out yourself, and leveling two things at once. You're leveling the traders and you're leveling your flea market level. And you're not being a douche and ripping people off. Remember, always list things in rubles, so you don't get stung by spending 7 grand US, or to the equivalent of like 800,000 K in rubles, and enjoy the trading and have good fun. Always observe the trading. Oh, one last thing. You have a flea market listing and you go My Offers and you go Add Offer. Then you can click the item in your inventory. There'll be a box around here. So I'm locked up at the moment. And if I exit and relaunch. And so right before you go add listing, refresh the queue again and just check that anybody else that have just listed theirs in the meantime aren't going to be cheaper than you. Because you always want to, if they're 70k, sell yours for like 65 or something. Or if they're like 120k, sell yours for 100k. And if they're like 30k, sell yours for 25 or 23 or something. You want to, the rule of thumb is that I use, undercut them by a good margin, then undercut yourself by half of that again. And it will always sell. If there's a 206k and everyone's selling for 500, sell yours for 200 or 100. Or like list it for $1 and just move it, get the key out of there. Sometimes I'll see people trying to sell scav vests for 7k. I saw one dude selling 3 at premium listing for 10k each. So I went straight over to Ragman and I bought out 14 scav vests and I listed them for 3k on the nose, I think, because they cost like 3.1k. So I went right in there and I like knocked his legs out from underneath him, and for the next half an hour, only mine was selling and no one could undercut me because they'd be selling it at loss. In the day, it's not about trying to make profit, it's about smartly leveling a trader and leveling flea market. And sure, you might operate at loss, other times you'll operate at a gain. And so when you're jumping in every day, you get money back. They also need to add it, just accept all trades. For selling bullets, that's stupid, yeah. So that's like, in the last hour, that's 80k. And on average, I'll start my day at around 900,000 rubles, and then trade in 2k of that into US currency, or trade it into 2k US currency. So at the mid-afternoon usually I might get down to 500 or 700 k, but I usually end the day about 800 to 900k, and then have a few extra k in the US currency here, and that just helps free up all your other currency. Hope this helped for the trading tips and flea market. Remember to competitive prices, steal from the scavs and sell to the cheapskates, and enjoy your Tarkov flea market experience. This is Racer, and I hope you've had a enlightening and enjoyable time watching this video. If you like or dislike, leave a thumbs up or down. If my video blows, let me know if I can improve, and if you enjoyed it, leave a comment. Catch you later everyone. Racer out.